Recently, I went out for a walk with somebody from the fellowship, and when it came to the time to split up and go back home, the person turned to me and said, "Thank you for taking the initiative." And that really impressed me, and it really encouraged me, because on that particular occasion I had taken the initiative to contact them, and between us we'd arranged a time, a date and a place. See, initiative is something that you and I need to take, not to wait for. And a simple definition would be an introduction act or step leading to action. Let me show you an example of initiative that really impressed me recently. This poster came through our letterbox, and as you can see with the bold headline, it's about a missing cat called Coco. Now there's lots of information on there, but in simple terms, Coco has gone missing. Imagine for a moment that Coco was your cat. What would your options be? Well, you could do nothing. You could just say, well, we'll get another one. You could sit on the settee and cry your eyes out. But what Coco's owner's done is produce these posters, and believe it or not, on the trees and lampposts all around where I live, there are missing posters for Coco. There's been an appeal made on social media, and that owner's initiative triggered a response in me, because I went out to look round our garage and shed to see if I could see Coco. I'm going to tell you what happened to Coco at the end of the message. But what all this thought about initiative triggered in me was how many times Jesus took initiative. There were loads of them, and I want to just pick up briefly on two, and both involve people. The first was with Zacchaeus. Zacchaeus was a chief tax collector, and Luke tells us he was a wealthy man, but he was short, and Jesus was passing through Jericho, and Zacchaeus had shinned up a tree to just look at Jesus. What were Jesus' options? Nothing. He could have done nothing. He could have just walked past. He could have waved to him up the tree. But Jesus takes initiative. He stops, he looks up, and he says to Zacchaeus, "Come down immediately. I must stay at your house today." Now, Jesus knew that that initiative would bring criticism, and that's exactly what happened, because the crowd muttered that he's gone to be the guest of a sinner. But look what the initiative led to. Zacchaeus says to Jesus, "Here and now, I'll give back half of everything I have to the poor." Well, I bet they were glad about that. "If I've cheated anybody," and he had, "I'll pay back 4 times the amount." And he calls Jesus Lord. And Jesus says salvation has come to this man's house today. And that interaction brought joy to Jesus' heart, because Zacchaeus was lost and he'd been found. And it actually leads as well to a new parable teaching from Jesus. The second example is one Sabbath, Jesus is teaching in the synagogue, and a man is there in the congregation with a shriveled hand. What were Jesus' options? Because he knew if he healed him, he'd get criticised for it, because that type of work, that healing on a Sabbath was considered work. Well, he could have played safe, couldn't he? He could have ignored him, pretend he wasn't there. He could have said, "See you 7 days from now, same time, same place." But he doesn't. Jesus takes initiative. He says this to the man, "Get up and stand in front of everyone." You're probably thinking, if you're that man, oh my goodness me, this is so embarrassing. It gets worse for him. Jesus says to him, "Stretch out your hand." I want to ask you, if you were that man, would you have stretched out the ugly, deformed, shriveled one, or the healthy, good-looking, normal one? Well, the man chooses the right option as he stretches out, and as he does that, his shriveled hand is completely restored. I want to finish with this thought. Do you know who the greatest initiators on this planet should be? It's Christians. I wonder if you're waiting for somebody from your family to get in touch. Just give them a ring. Wonder if you're waiting to get a letter. Why not write one? Let's follow Jesus' example and initiate things with people. Oh, Coco. Coco was lost, and due to the initiative of the owner, she's been found. Zacchaeus was lost, and due to the initiative of Jesus, he was found. Good things can come from people who initiate things.